Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MVFF daily live stream. It's Saturday, October the 17th. Oh, wow. Today is my goddaughter's birthday, and 25 years ago, she was born, and it was the day after Mill Valley Film Festival, and it was my first time witnessing a birth. And I just want to acknowledge that. Other things on this auspicious day, this is the last night of our drive-in, because this is essentially our penultimate day, but our closing night celebration with the Bee Gees film. And I think that there will be a lot of John Travoltas in the audience tonight, hopefully taking photographs and posting selfies on Instagram so that they can help us reach our $10,000 matching grant goal by posting and putting at Marin Magazine and at CFI Education. Anyway, that's at the drive-in tonight, but the film, the Bee Gees film, is also available online. So whether you like to have your festival live at the drive-in or at home online, you can get that film in either modality. Other things, the MVFF Conversation with Viola Davis is streaming for the second time today. We have very limited access to it. It's actually on now until 3 p.m. So if you would like to see Viola Davis, she is truly one of the amazing actors of her generation. She's receiving the Mind the Gap Award this year. Today, now, when you get out of here, go over and sign up. The other thing that is finishing today is, or rather playing again today for a second time, is The Truffle Hunters. That's at 2:00, and that will be available for 4 hours, starting at 2:00. A reminder, tomorrow at 4:00 is the second screening of The Father with Anthony Hopkins. And today is Democracy Day. KD is going to be joining me in a second, and our Democracy Roundtable is at 4:00 today. It will be happening live, and which means that you can have your voice heard in that conversation. So, KD, I think you have a tip for Democracy Day as well, right?
Yes, this is a film I just was able to take the time yesterday and see, and was blown away by it. Zoe, you mentioned it once, but I have to give it another shout out. It's called Stop Filming Us. It's from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And in the spirit of Patrice Lumumba, the people in the film, Congolese, are questioning the filmmaking process itself, not just any filmmaker coming in from the outside, but the filmmaker, the Dutch filmmaker who is in the process of making that film, which is called Stop Filming Us. He has to stop filming several times because the people in the film actually have a lot of questions about the democratic or undemocratic nature of the filmmaking process, particularly when Westerners come in and film the African country that they may happen to be in for 1 day or 2 days. So a big shout out for the intelligence and brilliance of Stop Filming Us. Must check it out.
Yeah, that seems like a film for the ages as well, in many ways. Yeah. Hey, so KD, we were talking about films that have got dancing and music and a little bit of poetry that you may or may not expect. I mean, some obvious ones that you might expect would be, say, Los Hermanos, which is about brothers who play music. But I know it's like there are some other things that are a little bit surprising, that they have little bits of performance and music. I mean, I know for me, Spring Blossom has this beautiful bit of choreography. And interestingly, when we did the Q&A with the filmmaker, one of her influences is Pina Bausch, which seems unsurprising. So again, reminder, watch your Q&As, because you have to click through to those to see them. And I think that some of those are pretty great. But other ones that were surprising for you, KD?
Well, I know that a lot of people are checking out 23 Walks, because it's obviously about 23 dog walks and a romance that happens. But there is a moment where the film stops and Dave Johns, the actor that many would recognize from his work with Ken Loach, and Alison Steadman, who many will recognize from her work with Mike Leigh, are facing each other in a park, and even the dogs are silenced as Dave listens to Alison sing to him. It's an extraordinary moment. I don't think I'm giving too much away, but watch for it in 23 Walks.
Right.
What about you, Zoe? A couple others.
Well, one of the things that I thought was interesting is Bandar Band, because there are times when in Iran when music is actually banned. And what would you say about Bandar Band? And it's B-A-N-D, not B-A-N-N-E-D. But that would be a music-related film. Any thoughts on that one, Katie?
It is. It's a joyous road movie taking place in the middle of southwest Iran's biggest flooding season. And the filmmaker was there in the middle of the floods, filming a band that wants to make it to Tehran to become the equivalent of, pop stars. And so while they are singing and playing their way through the flooding, there's a lot more that they learn on their way about their own country. So definitely a shout out for Bandar Band. And then there's Kings of Mulberry Street, which is a film that has to be watched all the way to the end, where there is a Bollywood number beyond belief. I mean, the child who is starring is such an incredible talent. And make sure you watch all the way through to the credits, where there's just an incredible Bollywood production number going on there. You mentioned Los Hermanos, but then there's some interesting poetry films. You want to mention a couple of those?
Yeah, actually, before we go there, I'd actually like to riff off of what you were just saying with Kings of Mulberry Street about young people, and realizing that there's an interesting sort of international thing going on. Veins of the World, which is set in Mongolia. This little kid who wants to be on Mongolia's Got Talent. And there is at least one song in there, as I remember, and it's by Byambasuram Davar, who did the Song of the Weeping Camel. Really wonderful film that's in our family selection, but definitely, something that I sure loved seeing, and I think would be that. I'm going to say also a couple of American indies, Shithouse. And Teddy Out of Tune, both have a music theme in them. And then Sound of Metal finishes today, so we should tag that. And then some others that were more obviously music related. You want to chuck in one of those, Katie?
Sure. The Doc Severinsen film. And also there's Piano to Zanskar, which is a fabulous film. And then, of course, Bee Gees, which we mentioned. How can you mend a broken heart any better? You cannot. So, yeah.
Doc Severinsen is known for
Johnny Carson's band leader for 40 years.
Right. Right. Yeah. And the film is called Never Too Late, Doc Severinsen. And then also Take Me to the River New Orleans, which of course is, really great New Orleans music. And then Katie and I were talking, it's like there's this little poetry thing going on. Heads up for two of the MVFF conversations. I would have to say that one of the most amazing experiences for me this festival was getting to interview Judi Dench. But coming out of that was that she read one of Shakespeare's sonnets, and to be sitting face to face with Judy Davis reading a sonnet was absolutely sublime. Similarly, Viola Davis, which is playing literally right now, she also does a reading of something which was, again, truly wonderful. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to do that as a teaser. Go and see it. Anything else, Kate?
I'll just toss out one more film that has a lot of poetry in it and it's a poetic film too. It's a First Nations Canadian film, Ruthless Souls. I mentioned it, I think, during our first live stream, and I want to mention it one more time for those that didn't have a chance to check it out. It's really, really heartfelt, courageous film, and one of its supporting actors is a First Nation actor who is known as a poet and rapper. So yeah, check out Ruthless Souls.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we'll be talking about the encore. We have a handful of titles that are going to be available to us throughout next week. We'll let you know about those tomorrow. A reminder, vote in the Audience Awards. I was very glad to hear that many of you already have been. Thanks. Keep that coming. It's really great for filmmakers to know, what you're thinking. Also, big shout out to everyone who's been posting selfies and getting us closer to that $10,000 matching grant. And also a shout out to Tia in Hawaii, who has been hosting backyard screenings of Mill Valley Film Festival films, and she's created a graveyard environment there.
Oh my God, Tia, hey!
I know, right? Yeah. So we will be back with you tomorrow, and enjoy the films. 2 more days and then an encore.